All right.
Yes.
Want to make sure you see my screen before I get started. Wait on a couple more people to log on. How's everybody's day going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How about yours?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Okay, I'm doing good, doing good. Give everybody. All right, hold on 1 minute, y'all. Y'all gonna see me do one thing. All right, I had to do that. All right, I am going to put in the address of the house we are about to evaluate, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. I'll put it in the group chat so y'all know which address and I'm recording this too, and I'm going to put the recording in our group chat, so just in case y'all missed a couple of steps, y'all will be able to see it now. Yeah. So everybody should see the address of the property and evaluate. And let me get this off of here. Hold on. All right. Let's see. 1 minute. Let me let Erica in. All right. Erica is joining us. Hold on 1 minute. I got a couple more people I'm looking to get on. I'm just trying to see if they're going to get on. If they're not, we're going to keep on going forward, y'all. I know y'all see me looking at a contract real quickly. Hold on. I got to do one thing to it. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. All right. Everybody can hear me good? Erica, can you hear me good? If you can, just make sure you just hit yes, you can. Or you can take it off mute and say you can. I just want to make sure everybody hear me properly. All right, welcome to my CMA class. Okay, good. All right, welcome to my CMA class. Now I'm going to show you how to, when you're evaluating and putting a house on the market, or whether you evaluate a property your buyers are about to get ready to make a purchase on. You need to be able to learn how to go in here and actually do a CMA and being able to pull over. So I put the property address in our little group chat that we're going to actually do evaluation on, and so everybody can have the address. So, all right, the first thing we're going to do when we're doing the CMA, of course, open it up your MLS system in Paragon. So I have Paragon open right now. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to come over here to where it says search right here. Up under the search, you're going to see quite a few things. You're going to see, of course, residential, lot, multifamily. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over to, hold on 1 minute, y'all. All right, we're gonna go over to where it says mapping right here. So if we click on mapping, we're gonna click on here. All right. So mapping is gonna, of course, it's gonna pull up a map right here. So your next step of what you're gonna do is you're gonna see a spot where it says center map right here, where it says zoom on the address. What this is going to do is going to actually zoom in on the property that we're trying to evaluate. So your next step is going to be actually putting the property address directly in this bar. So we're going to put in here 508 and so cool. All right, so once you have the property address in there, you're going to hit the little magnifying glass because I wanted to locate the property. So as you can see, it located the property. It put the little flag right here, you know, in the side of the subdivision right here. That's what I want. And sometimes you need to make sure that your map actually pulls up that property address. So really look at the map and make sure it puts it in the area, because sometimes if you hit the wrong zip code, it'll be on the other side of town, or you spell the name wrong, it may throw the map off. But as you can see, it located my property, and we can already see it's inside of a subdivision right here. You can see the main entrance into the subdivision. All right, so step 2 of what we want to do is we're going to come over here where it says mile. Now, when you're doing a CMA, and I'm going to give you a couple tips to remember when doing an evaluation of a property. And the way I'm teaching you is to evaluate it the same way and an appraiser will go out and evaluate a home. And so the appraisal has a couple of different criteria that they have to stick to with the bank to meet their guidelines. And one of the criteria is the distance on your comps. And you're going to hear comps a whole lot. Comps are basically other properties that you're comparing the property with. So anytime you hear some agents say, you know, I don't have comps, that means that they can't find another property. So comps means property, just in case you didn't know. But the appraisal has to stay within the bank guidelines up to a mile. They can go up to a mile to find active comps and sold comps. So they can go up to a mile. With me, I like to stay within the community, because that's what the first thing the appraiser is going to do. They're going to look to see what houses in that community have sold that are similar to that property first. So always try to stay as closest to the property as you can. If you can't find a house that's similar to that house inside of that community right here, you may be able to go out a little further on it. So we're going to stay within a mile, but right now I'm going to start it off within 1.5 miles. So I'm going to put 0.50, which is in half a mile radius right here. So I'm going to hit the enter button to make it build a circle around my property. Now, as you can see, it built the circle, and this is all within 1.5 miles of the property right here on it. So it built the circle around here. So now I have my property identified, and I put my radius on where I want to pull everything around the property. I think I'm ready to go now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here to where it says criteria, because we need to put some criteria to filter all these houses that we pull within that area. So you're going to come over here where it says criteria, and you're going to hit the criteria button. All right. Of course, right now you see that it pulled up 1,938 properties. So now it's time for us to filter it down on it here. So the next thing I do is I come over here to where it says, and I start at the top right here. I go with the hit class. If you double click on it, it's going to always give you your options right here. And of course, we're evaluating residential. So we need to filter it out. So right now it's pulling commercial, multifamily, everything in the world until we start putting our criteria in there. So right now, one of the criteria, of course, is a residential house. So we need to click on residential. As you can see, it's going to start kind of bringing the number down. So we're going to go on to the next step, which is property type. So I'm going to double click it again. All right. So this is right. If it was a condo, I click condo. In farm, townhome acreage and everything. So this is a different type of property that you have. So we have which is called a single family home on here. So I need to pull everything but just single family home. I don't want it to pull farm, acre, lots, appraisal. So I'm going to click on where it says single family homes, and it still kept us at that 1782 on it. All right, I'm not done yet. So now we're going to go. I don't normally do the county. You can if you want to on it, but I just kind of leave the county over there right there. It's not going to really play a factor because it's pulling within that radius. So we're already located within the county, so we don't have to worry about pulling the county on there. We don't have to worry about a map area because we already made the map drawn around the house that we already identified that we're going to evaluate. So you don't have to do those two things because you already did your little map around it. Now, the next thing we do have to do is do where it says status. And I wanted to make sure that it pulls up all the active comps. Those are the properties that's currently on the market for sale. And then I also want to make sure it pulls up and double click it again, sold comps. And we're gonna do a little bit. We're gonna go a step further when it goes to sold. But give me one more minute. I got one more category. I also want to pull the ones that are contingent, which means that those are the ones that are actually up under contract. I want to know what's up under contract right now. So I have active, sold, and contingent. That could be contingent on financing, contingent on home inspection. I want to know these type of things on it. So your next step of what you're going to do is, so right now you still see it's at 12/56. The reason why we haven't put a range on the sold date. Now your second note that I want you to write down, the first note was remember that the appraisal would never go out more than a mile. They only could go out more than a mile if they cannot find comps within a mile. And at that point, they have to justify why they're going out on a mile. And you'll see that sometimes is if you're out in the community where it's a kind of custom-built home and none of the houses around it are custom-built homes, sometimes the appraisal have to go up to, 3-4 miles to find another custom-built home to compare that property to. So those are what you call special type of circumstances. So the bank would allow them to go past a mile. But the rule of the thumb is the bank realistically wants them to stick within the mile. And the reason why they want them to stick within the mile is because if you start going out over a mile, you start kind of changing the demographic of the subdivision, or the area that you're in. You go 1 mile, you could be from Calera into Pelham. And that's two totally different cities. So they try to get them, like I said before, stay as close as possible to the property on here. So now I need to change my sold date. The second note is that the appraisal can go up to a year. So you can use any sold comp up to a year. So when it gets to the point when it's over a year, like the only way they'll be able to use that comp is they, once again, justify. Now you have some communities that, houses don't sell but every 2 to 3 years on it. Now that's a justifiable reason why, because houses don't sell in that community often. So you can go back and maybe go to 1.5 years to use an older comp. But we're going to say right now we're going to set our boundaries up to what the guidelines of what the bank require. And so that means that we need to stay within a mile and we need to stay within a year. And like I said before, with that mile, you want to make sure you stay as close as possible to that particular property before you start going on out some. So I need to change my status date right here. So if you come down here where it says listed date, we're going to come over here to it says date range. All right. I'm always trying to pull the most recent sold comps. So what I do is I start off with everything that has sold within the last 6 months. And then if I do 6 months and I can say I can't find any type of sold properties within the last 6 months, then I'll come back in here and make adjustment and go out to a year. But but I try to start off with 6 first to try to see if I can get some good comps in. So we're going to start off with 6 right now. As you can see, that narrowed it down to what, 15 properties, because we got a little bit more specific of what we want to look for. All right, so I got 15 properties. I think I'm good. Another note, this is the third note that I want you to always write down. When appraiser goes out to a property, they have to provide the bank with 3 active comps and 3 sold comps. So if you're ever looking at appraisal that one of your clients get on their house, it's always going to show them 3 currently listed properties and 3 properties that have sold, on it. So that's your third note. We'll make sure that you always, but when we're doing it as realtors, of course, we don't have to have 3. If you got one good comp that, is identical to that property, we can kind of go after that right there. Sometimes you may have 2. So we don't have to do necessarily with the appraisal, but I'm teaching you like you are an appraisal, so when an appraisal come back, you'll know exactly what their guidelines are for. So, okay, let me look at this 15 that we found. So I'm going to hit search. All right. So I'm a little OCD. I like to put everything in order. So the first thing I want to put in order is my status. So if you click on here, it's going to put it in order. I like to have all my active up top and my sold down low. Hold on 1 minute. There you go. As you can see, it put all my active properties up top and then my sold at the bottom. That's just me. I like to have everything kind of organized. I don't like to have a sold and active, so it kind of throws my mindset over on it. All right. So, all right, and so we can see active right here. We can see all the property that's active, and we can put all the property that's sold. The next thing that I do, and I want y'all to always do, I want y'all to open up another browser so you can find that property. Let me do it. Hold on. Hey, do y'all hear me again?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. I think Zoom is having some problems on it right now. It's just, it's just, where did what's the last thing y'all heard me saying before it disconnected?
Open up a new browser.
Okay, all right, we didn't get far. All right, so I opened up a new browser right here, and the reason I'm opening up a new browser because I want to pull that property up, and because when you're comparing it against other comps, you want to make sure you have it up so I can look back and forth between the two. So I open up a new browser, and I'm going to pull that property up.
Are we supposed to be seeing your screen?
Yeah, let me share it again.
Okay.
All right, can y'all see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, so as you can see, I opened up a new browser on here. So I still got my old browser up and going right here. Actually, let me get back to it. This is my old browser. As you can see, I got my active comps that I pulled up, and I got my sold comps that I pulled up. But now I need to pull up the property so I can know what I'm comparing against. So I'm going to come back over here to my new browser. I'm going to put the property address in here. Hold on 1 minute. As you can see, you start typing it out and they'll pull it up. Hold on 1 minute. don't want a, let me do a new browser. All right, as you can see, this is an old listing on the property right here. And actually, this is one of my old properties that I pulled up because my client called me and said, Jeremy, I'm thinking about, I want to sell my house. So I said, perfect timing. I was going to teach a CMA class anyway, so we'll evaluate your house. All right, as you can see, you can get an idea of what the old listing looked, and you can see it has the how much square footage in there, because you're going to be, like I said before, we're going to be comparing it with other houses in the community. So we need to know exactly what this house is, how many square foot, how many bedrooms it has. So I'm going to go back up to my other browser right here, and I'm going to open it back up. All right. So the next tip that I want you to write down is that you really need to first look at your property and see what subdivision your property in. So you can kind of make sure we stay within the same subdivision. Now, it may be sometimes where, you may not have, recent sales in the subdivision that property is in, then we can use the subdivision maybe next door to it, but we may have to make some adjustments if they have, like, example, if they have like a tennis court and pool, but this other community doesn't, we can make some adjustments off of it. But it looks like from our, hold on 1 minute. Looks like, how about that? All right, so it looks like we have quite a few houses in this subdivision that we won't have to go out into another subdivision to do any comparison yet right here. So I think that I am perfectly fine. I think I'm ready to go on it. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to look and see what competition do I have out here on the market. So if I look at what's on the market, of course, we got our active right here. I try to see firstly if I have any that's on the same street as my property right here. And if you can't remember what the address of my property, it's on Cold Circle. So we're going to go back here, Cold Circle, boom. We have this property right here on Cold Circle. Actually, it's up under contract, which is a good thing. That means that they're selling in the neighborhood. All right, so let me click on here to actually take a look at it. All right, so this property is it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story home. As you can see, no garage on it, 1,350 square feet. It was only on the market for 14 days before it went up under contract from the property. So that's kind of quickly. I love to see that, and it means the houses are selling quickly in the neighborhood. Let me look at my property. All right, we're going to see that our property actually is a little bit, it's 1,500 square feet, but we have actually a garage, a 2-car garage on it, which is going to bring more value on it. So we're going to be able to probably get a little bit more for our property because it has a garage on it. So let me go back in here and look at our other comps that we have in here. Hold on 1 minute. All right, so let's see what else we have on the market. We have this one right here on the market for $209. Let's take a look at it. All right, this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath property, and it's on the market for $209. You know, anytime an agent uses the inside of a house as the cover picture, that lets me know that there's probably something wrong with the landscaping, or there's probably something wrong with the house. Please, when you list your house, make sure you do not use the living room as the front, the main picture on it. So if we're going through this house, and it's actually a decent house, this just is a bad agent. That's bad marketing right there. No old Norman and Associates, please. No. This looks like it's a decent picture on the outside of the house. And as you can tell, I am very, very big on quality picture on it. I believe that if you're not a professional photographer, you need to hire somebody to take your pictures. And I have a picture guy that I'm going to actually, after this, I'm going to put his number up in our group chat, and to make sure you have it, he'll take great quality pictures on you, because you got to remember that pictures sells properties. Pictures sells property. And most of the majority of the people who are going to find their house is going to find it through what? A mobile app. So you want to make sure you got the best quality pictures. And you can actually tell he took this from an iPhone or his cell phone because of the cutout of the picture. You can see how square it is. That means that he took it from an iPhone. And I don't understand why he don't have this as the main picture. But I'm going to say, don't do that, because Zillow, when Zillow pull your pictures, they're going to actually pull your main picture, and this is going to show this as the main picture. Okay. All right. This property is a little bit more, it has an extra bedroom than we have, and it's a little bit bigger than our property. So, you know, I'm going to see if we can find anything else that's a little bit smaller and comparable to it. All right. We got this one. All right. We have this one right here. Let me click on it. Okay, this is more in line with our property. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, similar to ours, 1-story, 1632, so it's 100 square feet, a little bit more bigger. They originally put theirs on the market for $199, and actually, you know, it's listed currently now for $190. It's been on the market for 27 days, so they have reduced it real quickly, and it's been on the market that long on it. Let's look at the pictures. Great quality pictures on the outside. I like to look at the finishings on the houses that I'm comparing it to. That let me know what the tempo is, because, you know, if my house hasn't been updated, you know, I know I need to make my adjustments off of it. So this is like a nice house. So this will be a great comp, all right, here to compare. So I'm going to check on this one and click it right here as a great sales comp. So let me look at this other active comp. All right, this is another one, 1623 square foot. It was on the market for $185,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1 level, 2-car garage, 2006. Ours was built in 2004, so it was 2 years older than ours, but still, you know, still right there in comparison. It's been on the market for 8 days, fresh listings. It just hit the market. So let's look at the pictures. Great quality pictures on it. Looks to be, you know, carpet looks to be in good shape. It's all in one room right here. See if it's open. Kitchen is really not updated. These black appliances are probably the original appliances that came with the house back in 2006 when they bought it. Don't really, when I mean by updating kitchen, let me ask you a question. Hold on 1 minute. Make sure. What do you need to be considered to be updating kitchen?
Countertop. Maybe the flooring, the backsplash, maybe.
Yeah. Hold on, okay. Hold on 1 minute, yeah. It says she's having a hard time getting into the meeting. Just want to make sure everybody can get in the meeting. All right. Come on. Make sure, yeah. All right, someone said updated appliances from, going to be updated appliances. All right, I'll see if they click in. I don't know what, they should be able to put the Zoom number in there. All right, I'm going to keep on going. All right, yeah, you're right. Countertops, you know, if it's granite in there, if it has black splashes, the appliances, and also you look at the flooring in here. As you can see right here, it has the original flooring, no black splash, you know, regular black appliances. So the owner really never did any type of upgrading when it came into yeah, okay. All right. I made it easier for them just to pop in, yeah, without me having to accept them to come in. Let's see. All right. So it's just your basic, you know, kitchen. Flooring is probably the original flooring in here, and not really not any kind of updating that I'm seeing in here right now. Are y'all seeing anything?
They haven't done anything to this house.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. I am very particular on pictures. Y'all see this right here? Am I the only one seeing this? If I was a homeowner, I would be upset with my
the picture, the mirror.
You know, yeah, for putting a dirty mirror up as in the listing. You know, as agents, we have to really watch those type of things when we're talking about listing the property. You know, we want to pick out the pictures that really, really shows an example of our client, and that's just not a good picture to me right there on that one. I just want to highlight that picture. All right, nice house. Not fully updated, but it's a nice house, and that's maybe why they've started out at 185. It's because it's not fully updated, but we'll use it as a comp. Let's keep on going. All right, I'm gonna click on that. All right, now let's go over to your sold comps. And your sold comps are the comps that you really, really want to pay attention to. I like to see what's active, what's on the market, so I can know how to price it if I want to come in a little higher than a property or come in a little bit lower than a property. But what really determines your value is your sold comps. You know, your sold comps are really going to determine your value. Your active comps, I put it in there so I can see how to price it on it. Okay. All right, so let's look at our sold comps right here. Yeah, let's see what we got. Let's see what's on our same street as ours right here.
Yours is a 3-2.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go back. Yep, ours is a 3-2. Okay. 3-2, 1,500 square feet. All right, so let's go back to it.
You go by the HVAC area?
Huh? Say it again.
You go by the HVAC area when you're looking at the square feet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You go by the HVAC area.
Okay.
You go by the living area. So as you can see where it says living area, 1583.
Wait,
right here?
16 or 15?
That's 1583.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to go by that area right there. All right, so we're going to start let's look and see what we have here. Like I said before, I always try to look and see what's sold on the same street as ours because, of course, we know the same street as ours. The houses are going to be, look like we got Erica and, hey, welcome back. I don't know what's going on. I think Zoom is having some problems, but I did record it, so y'all will be able to kind of pick up on some of the places that y'all may have got kicked off on. All right, so just to give y'all a recap, they're first coming in. I have pulled all my comps right here. I have my active comps and I have my sold comps. If you didn't understand on how I get it, our active comp, you'll be able to kind of look at the video and go back into it. Now, we identified two houses that for us active comps. So we have this house right here, and I'm going to go back in, and y'all, sorry about them backtracking, but I want to make sure they understand what I'm looking at. All right, so I pulled up my property. Of course, this is my property right here that we're comparing it to. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,500 square feet, 1,583 square feet on it. And so I see that we have this property currently active on the market. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1632 square feet in it. And it was been on the market for 27 days. So they started the property off at 199, 137, and then now they reduced it down to 190, 497 on it. And one thing I did, I opened up and I always look at all the pictures. So real nice pictures on it. But once we started going through the pictures, we realized, and it looked like they updated, well, this may be the original floors, or they may came down and put some new floors in here. I always read the notes on the listing to see exactly, because people are going to highlight what they changed. So they made a couple light fixtures changing, but the money is always in the the bathroom and the kitchen. So the kitchen, the bathroom looks like it may be granite directly right here. Nice, little fixtures they had probably put up through the house. Laundry room, kitchen. And so this particular house, they updated, it got the hardwood in the kitchen area, black appliances. And I was telling them black appliances are probably the original appliances that came along with the house. I'm a believer that if you're going to update the kitchen, stainless steel is what sells now. So most people are looking for that stainless steel on it. But we have the black appliances. It look like they have, they're highlighting the details on the island, which is a good thing. There's a little extra touch in here. Okay, right here. All right, so kitchen looks like to be, decent. I got some backsplash here. These are, I can't tell if it's granite or not, but we can look through the notes and see if it's granite. See, as you can see, they're highlighting the details and letting you know that they did come in and put a little backsplash on it. So the house is, well updated on this house right here. And so they started off with 199. They have it on the market for 190. So, all right, so we got another active comp right here. 185, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1623. So similar right there in square footage as ours. It's actually is a 1-car garage on here. We have a 2-car garage in ours. And I pointed out this one right here earlier to let know that they really didn't need any upgrading in the kitchen. These are the same, black appliances, no black splash. This is not granite countertop. It's that, I think it's the original countertop that came in with the house. So as I'm looking at it, bathroom is not updated, similar. And I pointed this out. Do not do this. If you ever list in a house, please make sure you pay attention to the pictures. This is a dirty mirror. If I was a homeowner, I would be upset with my agent who put this picture up with a dirty mirror in there. You want to give the best representation of your home, and I'm pretty sure the homeowner don't want to see this picture with a dirty mirror. So make sure you do a great job and just don't stick the pictures up there. Make sure you actually making sure we got the best angles in each one of the rooms. Okay, this house has been on the market for 8 days, so it's a brand new listing, just hit the block. So we're going to use it as a comp. So, like I told them before, when we're comparing for properties, looking at your houses that are actually on the market and active, we're not going to really get the value out of them. The value is going to come out of the sold. Sold determine what the price of the house is going to be. Your active comps just tell you where you need to price your house. So if I have a house next door to me, I can see what's active on the market, and I may want to come in, $2,000 less than them, or I may want to come in higher than them because I got an upgraded kitchen. So that's what you're kind of using your active comps for. But to find out what the true value of the house is, it's going to come from your sold comps. So what we're going to do is we're just diving into the sold comps right here. So if we're looking into the community, like I said before, I want to stay within the community. This is not within the community. This one's right here. What I try to look for first is look for have any houses sold on the same street as my house. And the reason I pull on the same street as my house is because houses are going to probably be around the same year. They're probably going to be around the same amount of square footage as my house. And so those are going to be ideal comps. So we have two houses right here on the same street as my house. So let's take a look at them right here. So we're going to go to this one first right here. All right, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet. As first thing I can see, it doesn't have a garage. So this lets me know that this community has some homes on the same street of mine. So some of them may start off with no garage, and then they may transition on down the road to the houses that have actually the 2-car garage on it. And I don't know if y'all ever been out in this community. This type of community is similar to this one. All right, so it was on the market for $134,000, 1,300 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it sold within 4 days. And they gave them $2,000 towards closing costs. Okay, decent comp. Let's see what else we got out here. Like I said before, I'm really, really looking to find a house that's similar to my house that I have right here. So let's look at this one right here. All right, this is another one, 1,350 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, no garage on it, sold within 1 day on it. So if I had a property like that, I automatically knew what the price is on it, but not quite ideal as mine. So let me keep on going. So let's keep on going. Let's see this street right here. All right. So this is a 1851 square feet. It's built in. It was listed for $195,900, and it actually sold for $189 right here. And if you go down to the bottom, you can actually see all the details on here. And I like to see the details because I need to know how much seller has given in the closing costs. That's big. So this particular client, reduced the sales price plus gave them $5,000 in closing costs, and it was only on the market for 20 days before it went up under contract on them, and they paid conventional on it. Okay, so if I'm comparing this to my house, which let me go back. That's why I say it's always good to have your property that you're comparing it against up, so you can go back and forth and take a look at it and kind of do a comparison right here. Mine is 1583. Mine was 2004. This one's 2003. So, and then the square footage. So it's a little bit bigger than mine. But my house is a newer home than this one right here. So this is probably going to be an ideal comp because it's so similar in square footage. And I'm going to look at it and see if it's updated, see if they made any kind of changes to it. Fenced backyard, as you can see, hardwood. Bathroom the same, no updates to the bathroom, to the kitchen. So, look like they upgraded, but it's a personal preference. I believe if you're going to update the kitchen, the backsplash has to be updated too. On there, it just, it kind of goes with the theme. So you see, you may see this comment right here where they swapped out the dishwasher, but yet when you come over here to the stove, it's still black appliances. To me, that means that the dishwasher went out, and they had to replace the dishwasher, and they replaced the dishwasher with a stainless steel. If you're going to totally upgrade the property, appliances must match, So this is not really considered to be an updated kitchen. It's not going to wow anybody for this kitchen. And I'm just kind of talking to y'all so y'all can know what some of the things to kind of think about when you're listing the property on it. Okay. All right. Let me see what else out here that we can compare it about. What do y'all think about that as a comp? I'm making this where we can talk back and forth on this. Hello? Yeah, still there. Okay, Amanda said she agreed with, I agree with that one. All right. So we're going to go to the next one. And another thing I want to do is I'm going to hit this closing date. I want to put it in order to see when's the last time one closed. So as you can see, when I hit closing date, it put it in, arranged it in order. So I want to see the last thing that sold in that subdivision right here. So this property right here was the last thing that sold. 2,200 square feet, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than mine, so I'm not going to really dive into it because it's going to be a little bit bigger. Trying to find something that's directly around the square footage. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into a criteria. You remember what I did 6 months? I'm going to go ahead and take it out to 12 months to see what else pops up when I do 12 months. I want to see if it's going to give me some more comps. So you may want to sometimes go back in and make an adjustment and go ahead, or you may want to go ahead and just start off with 12 months on it. I like to do 6 months sometimes just to get it started. So I put it in the order. I really want to concentrate on the closing date. So I'm hitting the closing date, and let's go. I just want to double check to make sure I haven't missed anything. All right, I think we already talked about that one. So sometimes when you're comparing the property, you have to just really take your time and sit there and kind of search through them. I think that last comp that we went against is going to be a good one. All right, this was sold for 115. This is 2005, 2,200 square feet. Trying to see anything else. This is right here. So this comp right here that we talked about already is going to be a real good sold comp to go by. As you can see, we have around the same. Let me go back to it. It's around the same amount of bedroom, close to the same amount of square footage. Now, their square footage is a little bit 1851. I think we're right at 15, so they got about a little bit bigger home than ours. So we have to make an adjustment out there, knowing that this house is a little bit larger than our property right here, but around the same year built. So it's going to be a great comp to go by on it. So let me go back out. Let me make sure. All right. Now we had these two right here that they're currently active and on the market. So I'm trying to see if I can see anything else before. Let me look at this one that's up under contract again. Of course, this is one of those floor plans that didn't actually have a garage on it. So that's not going to work. All right. So we're able to, like I said before, you know, the appraiser will have to pull 3 of them. And then what he's going to do when he pulls the 3, he's going to make adjustments off of it. So us as a real estate agent, you know, once we identified a good comp that we can use, is within the years, within the miles, we can kind of base our price off of that right there on it. And we have 2 good currently active comps that's on the market. Of course, this one right here is a little bit bigger. So I would realistically, this one right here is an ideal competition with ours. It's a little bit bigger than ours, of course. And once again, this one was a 1623. And if you didn't remember, we had 1583. So it's not that far away from the pricing. It's on the market for $185,000. And it's only been on the market for 8 days. Now, what's one thing that we have that this property doesn't have? Everybody don't talk at one time. What's one thing that this property doesn't have that this house has right here, that we may be able to kind of go out there and you know, sell on? Y'all quiet. Hello, y'all hear me?
Jeremy, you said what's one thing that the ours has or this one has?
Yeah, the subject property. You know, if we're looking at that subject property and we see we 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. When we look at this property, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's 1,600 feet. But we have a slightly advantage over this property.
Garage?
I'm trying to see exactly. That's why I was trying to get y'all. Yep, the 2-car garage on it. You know, and that's big when you're talking about selling a house. You know, the husband don't want to be on the outside. You know, because normally if it's a 1-car garage, the husband's going to give the wife to pull on in, and he'll keep his truck on the outside. But if he can get 2 cars and he can be able to pull his car in at the same time, that go a little bit quicker right here on that. So that's what I wanted you to say. You said the right thing, Erica. All right, so that's good. We got some great comps right here. We found 2 comps. As you can see, it's not a lot of inventory in this subdivision. Is that a good or bad, y'all? Not a lot of inventory. Is it good or bad?
Well, it looks like I guess they're selling, so I guess that's a good thing.
That's a good thing too, but if we're looking like not a lot of inventory on the market, that's great because we don't have a lot of competition, on it, which means that, they are selling quickly and we can price our house out there and the people are probably going to be looking in their community, and soon as they see something they like, they're going to jump on it. So that's a plus right there on it. When you have a lot of competition on the market, say if this was switch and we had this many listings on the market and this many sold, which means that we're going to have to be very competitive, which means we may have to lower our price down. We can't be more aggressive with our price because it's just so many competitions out there, on it. So this is a true example when they're saying it's more of a seller's market than it is a buyer market. But back in 2008, 2009, when the economy kind of crashed, this right here was swapped. We had a lot of active inventory on the market and a lot of sold. So buyers were able to come in there and, basically offer these sellers anything that they wanted, and the seller would jump on it because they were just trying to sell their house on it. So that's where the difference was to be a buyer's market and a seller's market. So now we're in a seller's market. So all this is the competition we have to go right here off of. So I found 2 comps that are great comps to go along with. Let me show you one more thing that I always do and always checking. I always come into the tax record. So, and in order, if you didn't know how to find your tax record, you're going to come in here where it says taxes right here. You're going to go down to it says Paragon taxes. And so let's click on that real quickly. All right. So we're going to pull the tax to this particular property. We're going to put the address directly in here.
Can you do that one more time, Jeremy? I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Let me back up. Okay. Check it out. All right. So, like I said before, let's go and find the tax. You're going to come up to where it says taxes right here. You're going to click on it, and then you're going to go to Paragon taxes. And you always want to pull the taxes up on the property. This is where you get some of the most important information on the property right here. So we're going to go down where it says address. We're going to type the address in here, 508. And then you want to stop right here. If you keep going and you put Camden Circle, it's going to trip it up. The best way is to do is just the 508 Camden and hit search. And as you can see, it found it. You see it says one property, and we're going to hit search. All right, this is my client, Miriam. Let's pull it up, click on the partial ID. All right. So this is give us a little information. We can just check on it. It'll tell us what the taxes on the property, just in case you need to, when you're putting the listing in the MLS and know what the taxes is. It says tax amount right here, 614 on it. Just give you more information. I wanted to make sure y'all knew how to pull the taxes up on the property. Legal description. They go to the legal description directly in here. All right, here, just in case you need the legal description on the property. this is also tell you a little bit more about her mortgage. You know, when she first bought the house, you know, what her mortgage was on it. You know, it looked like she has she may pull out a secondary loan on it, you know, as you can see with Quicken Loan for $26,000. So she probably pulled like a home equity line out on it, on the property. So, but it shows you the transfer history on it. So as you can see, somebody bought it back in 2004 for $117. Then it dropped in 2006 at $195, $197. Then somebody bought it 2006 for $130, 2011 for $131, and then she bought it back in 2012 for what? $104. Why do you think it was a drop from 2011 to 2012? Well, like she maybe refinanced it in 2012. That's why I'm saying that. But I think I sold her this property back in, sorry about that, y'all. Let's go back to here. I sold it to her in 2012. So that means that, you know, basically we got a good deal on it, 2012 on it. I think that was right when, you know, the economy was when at the strongest, you know, and I do some good negotiation. We're just gonna leave it at that. All that. So, all right, did you give you a little history on your the property on it? So we're gonna come on back up here. Never go by the tax assessed amount right here. As you can see, it says the total market value of $121,300. This is the amount that the county places on the property to know how much in taxes to collect. Now, they always, you know, under assessed properties or over assessed properties. Sometimes it just depends on what area. But don't never go by the total market value, because you could probably get more than what they assess the value of a house is on it. So I just want to make sure y'all understand what that is. That's just basically what the amount that they're saying that house. The county taxes are saying that house, they feel that house is worth $121, and that's how they're putting it, the tax millage on there to know how much to collect in taxes for the property. So, any questions on the tax records? Are y'all kind of clear on the tax records on how to kind of read the tax records? Okay. All right. So let me go back to my search. All right. Okay, somebody was trying to say you're working. Okay, everybody said it good. All right, so I'm going to go back. All right, I'm going back to my search now. So, you know, of course, y'all know that my client bought the property for $104, so which means that she's going to get a good bit of equity in her house now, and that she'll be able to sell. And I'm looking at the comps that I'm comparing it to, and like I said before, we identified a good sold comp, and we identified a good active comp right here, and I try to make sure that I haven't overlooked anything on it. So you may want to take your time sometime when you're looking at these comps to make sure you really dive into it and you haven't overlooked anything. So I'm going to give it one last, you know, glimpse before I declare that this is the price that I want to put the house on the market for. Now, you may run into a time where, you know, you within a mile and a half that you couldn't find what you needed, or you couldn't find any property that was similar to that property, and we can make an adjustment off of it. If we go directly back here to map search, I can sorry about that, yeah. I can come in here and put a mile and make it go out farther on it, and to get more comps in it. But we have enough within here that I don't have to go a mile for the comps on it. So I'm just going to stick to what we already have, because it's no need for us going further along. All right, so let me get back to my search. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm just making one last look, We identified that this was our competition right here for 185. But we also, when we show this to our client, we're going to say, hey, we have a a 2-bedroom versus this one's only have a 1. That's why I just clicked on it. And I'm going to look in my sold to see if I see anything else that I feel. I remember we highlight this property as being a good comp. It's a little bit bigger square footage than us, but we can make. And as you can see, this is where that last one probably got their value from. So this one right here sold actually for $189. And if you look here, this one's on the market for $185. So I'm pretty sure that listing agent used this one as a comp. Because if you look at this one, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a little bit bigger square footage. So that's why they probably made an adjustment off of it. And then actually the buyer only, you know, they sold it for $189. So that's where they probably got their comp for. And they said, okay, we're going to come slightly below that to take into account that this house is a little bit bigger than what our house is. I think we're good. That's the only one I see right here. That's in comparison. Let me tell you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the square. Let me give y'all, make this a note. The main thing that you want to look at when you're evaluating the house on it is the square footage, the year built, the total bedrooms. Make sure the bedroom counts, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, the bedroom counts, bathroom count. And then sometimes you'll have to look at the acreage right here. If this house is on an acre of land, but my house is only 1.5 acres, we have to take in consideration that house is, on the bigger lot than the house right here. But if I'm looking, this one right here is 0.42, and the one up here is 1.8, so it's a smaller lot. Then that one, let me look and see what our lot square footage is. I could just go back to the listing on it. 0.40. So ours is a little bit bigger than that current property that's actually on the market. See, we have a bigger lot. We got 0.4. So we got close to going on 0.5 acre on ours, and this one is not even close to. It's just almost 1/4 acre on it. So we can take that, in consideration right here too on pricing. All right, now, so let me ask you a question now. Now that we have looked into what's selling and we see that we don't have a lot of competition, we do see that we have this, sold that we can, if the appraiser comes back and asks us where we get our value, that we can provide him that information. What would you suggest we're going to price this property at? I want to hear what y'all thinking we can put on the market for.
You said based off of the comps that we came up with?
Yeah. What would you suggest the owner to put the house on the market? Would you get aggressive, or would you just say, okay, we're going to put it on the market for $189?
I would say 180. Yeah, I was going to say like 180. Starting at 189. Right at 189. 189.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Amanda? Typing in. I know you can't talk right now.
Me. That's been me talking.
Okay. That's it. Erica, what you think, Erica?
I would start to that 189 or a little bit below. I guess going back forward, we was just speaking about being more of a seller's one. So still looking at the different ones that has been sold and not a lot, so still keeping in that diaphragm of thinking about that aspect.
Okay. All right. That's good. My opinion, I'm going to tell our client, let's come in at, I would say 190. Let me tell you the reason why I said I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on it. The reason why is that I'm looking at that we're on a close to 1/2 acre of land. We have a 2-car garage on it. Your first offer, so if we put it out there at 190, when somebody submit an offer in, they're going to probably come in like at 185. That first, they always going to come in below. Sometimes because everybody wants to negotiate. So I'll tell my client, let's put it out there for probably 192. And after negotiation, we may hit around about 189, 188 range on it. So I'm going to bump it up knowing that person is going to come in and they're going to negotiate with me off the top. I had a house that on the market in Pelham. And I put a house on the market in the Pelham for, when did I put the house on the market in Pelham for? Hold on, y'all.
No, what y'all want? Let's make the list.
So that way, when they come in with the offer, you're still kind of coming out with what you may have thought. Okay, I got it.
Yep. That's exactly. Sorry about this, y'all. I know I'm taking out I'm trying to remember where I put the house. Okay. I put the house on the market for 2049. Now, I knew that the houses were selling for about 200 in that range, but I did it on purpose because I knew that once I put it out there, they're always going to negotiate. 9 times out of 10, that first offer is going to come below asking price, unless I, on purpose. Now, if I would have put the house on the market for 195, it would have been a bidding war. People would have jumped up to get it because they knew that it was undervalued. But when I put it at 104, we actually end up just getting a contract on it for 102. You see what I'm saying? I knew that they was going to come in and they was going to submit an offer a little bit lower. Even though I know my clients was comfortable with 200, I did that on purpose to take into consideration that they was going to be able to, they're going to negotiate with us on it. So with this particular house, I'm going to tell my client, let me get it back to it. I'm going to tell her, let's put it on the market we're going to start at 192. Knowing, I tell her it may hit around 190, 189 for it on it. And that's what it'll appraise for. I could be super aggressive. I could say, hey, let's go out there at 195. You see how this person went out there at 195 and came in at 189. Now, I'm taking into consideration this house is a little bit bigger than mine, so I'm not going to be too aggressive on it. And to me, personally, I like the layout of this house a little bit better. It looks a little bit more curve up here and more a little popping than mine. What are y'all thinking? Mine is it looks a little bit more fancier than my house. So I'm going to take that in consideration too, that they dropped down so quickly on theirs to 189 on it. And they gave them $5,000 to closing. So that's another big thing too. So I may, after looking at this thing, I may want to say, hey, let's not even push it. Let's try 189 and we may hit around 185. Y'all got it?
Yes.
Any questions? So what you can do to just, practice, if you have a family member or a friend that has a house, you may want to just come in and say, hey, I'm just going to do a CMA for practice on your house. And just, once again, I'm going to start all over, just the basic step. I'm not going to do the whole thing on it so you can remember, because we're going to have this video and you can always go back to it on it. The recap. The appraisal have to stay within, give me 2 things that the appraisal has to take in consideration for the bank. What's their criteria that they have to stay within?
Say that one more time, Jim.
Nate, give me 2 criteria that the appraisal have to stay in as guidelines for the banks when they're doing an appraisal on a house.
Oh, the location, what did you say, not more than a mile, right?
Right, that's one. That's right. What's the next one? Within a year.
Within 12 months.
Within 1 year, they can go up to a year. They can go up to a mile of the property. So they're going to try to pull all of their comps within a mile of the property and then within 1 year. Now, like I told you before, it could be certain circumstances where they can justify going over a mile and going over a year in sales date. Those are custom houses, or it's nothing that's sold in that community within the last 2 years, so they have to go back out. So they have times where you can go back and pull a comp for 2 years ago, or you can go back and pull a comp that's 1.5 miles or 2 miles away from the property, and they'll have to justify why that did it and what the bank will take it. And so what I do is I teach you how to have the mindset of what an appraisal is going to look for. So you won't have to worry about appraisal coming back and saying, no, you price this house it actually appraises $15,000 below than what you have it on the market for. And so that is how you do a CMA within
I have a question,
the. Go ahead.
It's Amanda.
You on the
Sorry about that. Have you ever used RPR to do a comp?
Yep.
I had one question on the portion when you pull the comps, and then I think it gives an option to, like, I guess, add or subtract.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense? I was trying to follow along on a video one time, but I was just trying to understand at that point, when you do that, you're on your subject property. Are you adding like the pricing for updates that they've done? Yeah. And do you use the dollar amount or?
Yeah, the dollar amounts. And then at that point, you just got to kind of estimate what you think the dollar amount for them going in and adding new flooring, or the flooring being, RPR could be very tricky a little bit when you're talking about doing CMAs. RPR, and just in case y'all don't understand, let me pull up what she's talking about. I forgot the website for RPR.
I think they got it.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me tell each one of you. All right. So everybody has their own account to RPR, and RPR is basically owned by the National Associations of Realtors. So when you pay that due to the Birmingham Association of Realtors, a portion of that money that they collected and you went over to National, and that gave you access to RPR. Now, RPR is one of the most amazing software systems that you can use. I tell everybody it's kind of like the mothership of all systems right here, because RPR pulls from across the whole United States. It pulls from every MLS system that it is out there. As you can see, it's taking a few minutes for me to log in, but it'll pop in a few minutes. If you don't have your login for RPR, you need to, you could go on here and create a new account and put your information in there on it. I was telling a couple of agents actually earlier, we was talking about RPR. RPR is good for when you're trying to evaluate different neighborhoods. If you're talking about, okay, I want to be a listing specialist. Well, being a part of being a listing specialist, this is something Calvin's going to kind of go over with some of his training. You need to know everything it is about that particular community. Sometimes these things take a little bit longer, and I have to stop it and start it all over again. There you go. All right. So if I'm going to be a listed in a particular community, I have to know everything about that particular community. And what RPR does is it gives you a detailed, how can I say it? Detailed information on that particular community. It lets you know how many foreclosures, who about to get foreclosed on the community, because it pulls up pre-foreclosures in the community. It tells you about the school system. Let me show you an example real quickly. I'm not going to go long on it. When you first come into RPR, they have it where you can do it for commercial and residential. If you click on the commercial, it'll switch it over to commercial. If you click on residential, it'll switch it back over to residential on it. So this is your main dashboard right here, and it also keeps a track of all of your recent property searches. As you can see from this right here, I did a search on this one actually today. I was actually using my RPR today on looking at a property in Marietta. So let's look at that one right here. All right. So if you type in the address, this is immediately what it will look like. And let me think. Let me pull this property we're comparing it to here. Let me see if we pull it. Okay. As you can see, RPR is going to give you what their estimated value of that home is, too. So they're estimating that value of that home to be $151,000 to $88,000. So that's why sometimes I say that it may be a little bit better for you to look inside of your MLS on it, because they may be not taking in consideration some comps that you're thinking about. And they always kind of give you a range right here on it, too. So your client may have come in and done some updates on here that they have not taken in consideration the updates on here. But RPR gives you all this detailed information. It lets you know the mailing address. As you can see, the property owner is owner occupied. See, the reason it's not pulling detail on here too, because it don't have like the bedroom or how many baths, and you got to come in here and put how many baths and give it an update and hit save, and it'll probably calculate a higher value once you put your information in here on it. But it also lets you know the medium house value in that particular community. It'll let you know school systems. Yes, you can see it says Calera. It's rating middle school at A, elementary to A, middle school B, high school it's B. So it's a great school system, real good school system, because you're going to have some clients that are going to ask you, what is the school system on there? RPR actually has also too an app that you can tap into, and so you can tap into the app, and man, the app is phenomenal. And I may have to do a class. I'm actually going to put a link in there, and once we get out here on the YouTube on how to use RPR, and that is going to help you out a whole lot on give you a little homework on it. And it also gives you the tax information on the property. It gives you the deed on the property, how much she took the deed out. And also it gives you the history. If she was ever in foreclosure, it will have the distress action through here, but she was never in foreclosure, which is a great thing. And also has a little more information about the taxes and mortgages on the property and here. And also that you redefine it. This is what you're kind of going through. Like I say, it's very, very detailed RPR on it. So that's why I kind of teaching you the Paragon way, because you can trip yourself up when you're first getting started. As you get more comfortable with evaluating homes, you can kind of come in here and kind of start playing around with it a whole lot on it. But right now we want you to focus on Paragon, but you can just use this for other information. But you can also use this for community information, what's going on in that particular community. This is where you can do CMA reports out of here. You can learn about the neighborhood right here. This is information about the neighborhood, pricing on the neighborhood, population on it, age group, gives you detailed information on it. And there's some of the information you with your client, and you look like an expert when able to giving them this type of information. So please download. Can y'all still see me? Why y'all can't? I don't know why y'all can.
Yes.
Okay, y'all can see me now. All right, so make sure you download the RPR app. It's called RPR Mobile, and I'm going to open it up a little bit with y'all. All right, I'm tapping into mine. The thing I love about RPR, if I'm out and about with a client, where am I at, I can put the address in there, and automatically it'll show me how many listings that's on the market. It says 4 for sale, 2, and it's pulling up the area I'm in right now. 2 new listings, 9 recent sold, and it's one distressed property on here. So I can say, okay, if I'm working with an investor and he wants to know if anybody in their neighborhood is about to lose their home, I can actually say, okay, man, I can put in an address and see and tap it and see if any houses around there are in pre-foreclosure. That's valuable right there on it. And so if you look at this, that's the property. Like I told you before, it keeps a track on it. This distressed property, and I'm going to click on it and I'll show you. It'll show you, it'll say, okay, this person right here is in pre-foreclosure, notice of foreclosure, so they haven't got foreclosed on yet. And if I'm an investor, you know, when I'm dealing with an investor, I can maybe send a letter out to them or call them saying, hey, we'll buy your property before it gets foreclosed on, or let me try to sell your house before it gets foreclosed on. I can find out who the owner is on it, send them a letter, find out when they filed the notice, when the auction date on the property. Look like this already went to auction, but they, you know, they have stopped. That's why it hasn't foreclosed on, because they're not doing any foreclosing on property during this period of time. Normally, this house would have been foreclosed on because the auction date is on 4/7, but they stopped it because of the economy. And so, as you can see, it gives you a lot of great information. So make sure you go on to RPR and sign up for your new your profile, and you can start using it. And I'm gonna send a video on how to use it. Amanda, I don't know if that answers your question.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Okay. So how's everybody feel? Like homework. Switching back over to Paragon. Go in here and find it. Remember, one last thing. Let me get some of this stuff down. Remember, just recap. When you're going into it, you go into search. You hit map. You put your address of your property directly in here. You put your mile. You can start off 1.5 miles to get closer around the property, or you can go up to 1 mile, and then you hit search. And then you're going to come over here to your criteria. You're going to start breaking it down on your criteria. And then after you get your criteria breakdown, you hit search, and you start kind of evaluating. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed my CMA class on it. I love evaluating homes. I do it all the time. Agents send me property and say, Jeremy, can you help me evaluate this home? Just send me the address. I'll pop on there and do an evaluation on it. Calvin can do it on it. So we are here.
Our home.
Yeah, you put it on the market. I love to do it. I'm an expert in evaluating. You know, so you can do me, Calvin, anyone. We're going to help y'all price everything, but we want to make sure y'all comfortable enough where y'all be able to do it. And this is the correct way to do it. Also, don't forget to download RPR, and it's there to help you out. And we are here. I know y'all have a training class with Calvin tomorrow. He's going to go over the buyer's process with y'all. It's going to be on the same Zoom. Hopefully, Zoom won't be acting up right here. It'll be a little bit differently. And we're just going to keep on pumping as much information into y'all.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Yeah,
all right.
I really needed it. Thank you.
My family.
You be so excited.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
you.
So I'm going to put both of the videos in the group chat so y'all can have them.
Right. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
Bye, Amanda.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye, y'all.